Have you ever wondered how different our world would be if one of history's greatest civilizations never existed? No pyramids, no pharaohs, no ancient Egyptian temples rising along the Nile River. For thousands of years, ancient Egypt influenced architecture, science, culture, and even the civilizations that came after it. But what if none of it had ever happened? What if ancient Egypt never existed? Imagine a world where ancient Egypt never existed. No pharaohs ruling over vast kingdoms. No pyramids rising above the desert. No temples covered in mysterious hieroglyphs. Thousands of years ago, as some of the first civilizations began appearing around the world, the fertile lands surrounding the Nile River remained mostly empty, or occupied only by small villages. History would take a completely different path. At first, this change might not seem very important. After all, many civilizations have appeared and disappeared throughout history. But ancient Egypt was not just another civilization. It lasted for more than 3,000 years and influenced countless generations of people. Its achievements in architecture, agriculture, writing, engineering, religion, and government helped shape the ancient world. Without Egypt, some of humanity's greatest achievements would never happen. Entire chapters of history would simply disappear. Future civilizations would grow up in a world missing one of its most important sources of knowledge and inspiration. The effects would not be limited to Africa or the Middle East. They would eventually spread across Europe, Asia, and beyond. Even today, thousands of years later, our world might look surprisingly different if ancient Egypt had never existed. One of the most obvious changes would be the disappearance of Egypt's incredible monuments. The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, would never be built. The giant Sphinx would never watch over the desert. The magnificent temples of Luxor and Karnak would never exist. For thousands of years, these monuments have amazed travelers, historians, and scientists. Even today, many people wonder how ancient builders were able to create such enormous structures with the tools available at the time. Without these monuments, future generations might underestimate the capabilities of ancient societies. The pyramids also inspired countless architects and engineers throughout history. Their design demonstrated extraordinary planning, organization, and mathematical knowledge. Without them, some architectural ideas might have developed more slowly. Modern tourism would also change dramatically. Millions of visitors travel to Egypt every year to see these ancient wonders. Without them, one of the world's most famous destinations would never exist. Ancient Egypt existed because of the Nile River. Every year, the river flooded and left behind rich soil that allowed crops to grow. This reliable food supply helped cities expand and populations increase. Without Egyptian civilization, the Nile Valley might remain bad and divided into small communities for centuries. Instead of a powerful kingdom controlling the region, many independent tribes and settlements could compete for resources. Trade routes connecting Africa, Asia, and the Mediterranean might develop differently. Goods such as gold, grain, and valuable materials could travel through different paths. Neighboring civilizations might rise faster or slower, depending on how they adapted to this new situation. Over time, the absence of a strong Egyptian kingdom would reshape the political map of the ancient world. Ancient Egypt was one of the first civilizations to develop a sophisticated writing system. Their hieroglyphs were used to record history, laws, religious beliefs, trade agreements, and important events. Thanks to writing, knowledge could be preserved and passed from one generation to another. Without ancient Egypt, thousands of records would never exist. Future historians would know far less about the ancient world. Important discoveries in medicine, agriculture, and administration might never be documented. Writing systems in neighboring regions would still develop, but the exchange of ideas between civilizations would be reduced. Human knowledge often grows when societies learn from one another. Without Egypt, some of that growth could be delayed. Imagine trying to understand ancient history with one of its largest chapters completely missing. Many mysteries of the past would remain unsolved, and the story of humanity would be far less complete. Ancient Egypt was famous for its incredible engineering achievements. Building pyramids, temples, statues, and irrigation systems required advanced planning and organization. Thousands of workers had to coordinate their efforts to complete projects that still amaze people today. Egyptian engineers learned how to transport massive stones, design stable structures, and manage large construction projects. These skills influenced future generations and demonstrated what organized societies could accomplish. Without Egypt, many of these engineering lessons would never exist. Other civilizations would eventually develop similar techniques, but perhaps much later. Some architectural achievements could be delayed by centuries. The absence of Egyptian innovation would create a ripple effect across history, influencing how future civilizations approached construction, mathematics, and large-scale projects. Ancient Egypt did not exist in isolation. It traded with neighboring societies and influenced civilizations throughout the Mediterranean region. Greek travelers and scholars often visited Egypt to learn from its knowledge and traditions. Many Greek thinkers were fascinated by Egyptian mathematics, astronomy, and religious beliefs. These exchanges helped spread ideas across the ancient world. When Greece later became one of history's most influential civilizations, some of that Egyptian influence continued to spread. Rome eventually inherited much of Greek culture. As a result, Egypt indirectly influenced Roman civilization as well. Without Egypt, this chain of cultural exchange would be broken. Greek and Roman history would still happen, but some aspects of their development could be very different. Small changes in the ancient world can create enormous differences over thousands of years. Ancient Egypt developed a unique religion filled with gods, temples, rituals, and beliefs about the afterlife. These ideas shaped Egyptian society for thousands of years and influenced neighboring cultures. Their stories, symbols, and traditions became some of the most recognizable elements of ancient history. Without Egypt, countless myths and legends would disappear completely. Art would also be different. Egyptian paintings, sculptures, jewelry, and architecture inspired people for generations. Museums around the world display Egyptian artifacts because of their beauty and historical importance. Without this cultural legacy, the artistic history of humanity would lose one of its most fascinating chapters. Even though ancient Egypt disappeared long ago, its influence remains visible today. Every year, millions of people visit Egyptian monuments, study its history, and learn about its achievements. Entire industries depend on Egypt's historical legacy. Tourism, archaeology, education, documentaries, books, and films all draw inspiration from this remarkable civilization. Without ancient Egypt, many famous discoveries would never happen. The excitement surrounding mummies, hidden tombs, and lost treasures would not exist. Some people might never become interested in history at all. Humanity would still advance and build modern societies, but the journey would be different. One of the greatest civilizations ever known would be missing from the story. Ancient Egypt was more than a kingdom along a river. It was one of the foundations of human civilization. Its achievements influenced architecture, engineering, writing, culture, trade, and knowledge for thousands of years. If ancient Egypt had never existed, the world would not suddenly collapse. Humanity would continue moving forward. New civilizations would rise, new discoveries would be made, and history would continue. But the path would be very different. Many achievements would arrive later. Some ideas might never appear at all. The world we know today would be shaped by completely different influences. Ancient Egypt reminds us that even civilizations that disappeared thousands of years ago can continue shaping the future long after they are gone. The real question is this: if ancient Egypt had never existed, what part of our modern world would change the most? What do you think? Would the world be dramatically different without ancient Egypt? Or would another civilization simply take its place? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this what-if adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating alternate history scenarios. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next What If Universe video.